Jasper City officials are now looking at budgeting for the Downtown Riverfront Master Plan. More on their priorities with that. Plus, Carrie Schneider has this week's report with our friends at the Du Bois County Humane Society, and Cody Cummings and Kitty Lawson discuss the promise tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. More on downtown plans in Jasper in a moment, but we begin with Ferdinand Fire crews being kept busy last night. Just before 9 p.m., the Ferdinand Volunteer Fire Department was called to Master Brand Plant 22 along West 3rd Street. When they arrived, Ferdinand Fire Chief Dan Lindauer says a trailer filled with sawdust was up in flames after a bearing in the auger system under the trailer's roof overheated. Lindauer says the trailer had been parked next to the plant when the fire started. He says employees pulled the trailer away from the building so that crews could get the fire put out. Lindauer says it was fortunate that the fire was reported as soon as it was.
I think we got a jump start on it as soon as they noticed possible smoke. Advised them, to get it out of there as soon as we could and get it into an open area.
Lindauer says there were maintenance personnel around the trailer at the time of the fire, though no injuries were reported. Lindauer says damage was confined to the inside of the trailer. The Ferdinand Fire Department responded with 4 trucks and about 25 men. They were on scene for an hour and a half. Ferdinand Police and Memorial Hospital EMS also assisted. Jasper's Downtown Riverfront Master Plan is now moving closer to implementation. The city is looking to start work on the downtown courthouse square later this year. Mayor Terry Seitz says the project will include replacing water lines, utility work, and repaving the streets. He says though construction may not start this year, it is time to find the funding for the downtown square project. Seitz says city leaders have several other budgeting priorities for the plan as well, including work on repurposing former factories such as the Hoosier Desk building. Seitz says money for implementing the plan will come from sources other than general fund tax dollars.
It's my stated goal that, first of all, we have budgeting from the economic development income tax dollars, both through reserve funds that are currently there waiting to be utilized and reinvested, and or ongoing, and a combination of each could certainly be done. While I don't know that we would ever issue bonding, but an edit bond could certainly be another thing too, and that's down the road, but at least we know we have the ability to finance and have these discussions, and we want to do that at this time.
Seitz says the city has roughly $4 million of economic development income tax funds in reserve. He says Jasper also gets an additional $1.4 million each year in economic development income taxes that could be used to fund these projects. Seitz says money will also likely be set aside for potential work at the Parklands property. He says the city can afford to put more into the Parklands if need be.
We have the ability to budget beyond what is budgeted this year. There's $300,000 budgeted this year for essentially design and planning, to take where City Vision's Gamble Associates work has concluded of basically creating a framework of saying that it's not going to be a full build out, it's not going to be left with nothing, it's a managed meadows concept with some possibilities of what could be plugged in from that, and then take that to the next level. That is in the hands of the park department. But we also have the ability to do some funding for that, I think in a very significant way when the time comes for that.
Seitz is also thankful for the community support for the plan. He says more than 300 residents participated in public meetings for it, and 75 others gave their input in private interviews. And finally tonight, Holiday World and Splash and Safari have come up with a unique way to fill seats for the first ride on its newest roller coaster: auction them off. The Thunderbird's first flight auction is now underway and runs through April the 8th. The 20 highest bidders will win 2 seats each on the first public rides for Thunderbird. Park officials say the auction will benefit the Give Kids the World charity. The Central Florida-based charity aims to give children with life-threatening illnesses and their families 1-week vacations for free. Those kids and their families then get a 1-year pass for free visits at theme parks and other attractions across the country, including Holiday World. To place your bid in Thunderbird's first flight, you can go to holidayworld.com/first flight. All right, coming up after the break, Carrie is next with our friends at the DuBois County Humane Society, and later, rain chances have arrived and more on the promise. We're back after this.